Hello, JDL Elections Analysis here with a video on the Washington primary results. About a month ago, Washington held their primaries for statewide and congressional races. Due to Washington having a top two primary with everyone competing against each other and it being held in August, the primary tends to hold some predictive value. In the Senate race, Democrats combined for a 19.3% lead over Republicans. In the gubernatorial election, Democrats combined for an 11.9% lead over Republicans. Democrats held a 15.8% lead in the combined House vote over Republicans. Democrats have looked at the results and have been given a lot of hope. However, while the results are predictive, it is possible for one to assume too much and come to the wrong conclusion. We'll go over the results more in depth and make predictions about how the election will go in the state of Washington. We'll first go over the Senate race. Overlaid onto the map is the Senate primary results at the county level with 2020 turnout. The top line result would be a Maria Cantwell victory by 19.71%. Ultimately, I believe this is right around where Cantwell will end up. Cantwell will be the Democrat who performs the best among the high-profile races in the state. This shows her doing well in the ancestral Democrat counties on the coast, along with the bellwether of Clallam County. She also does well in Spokane. However, she loses ground in the three most populous counties of King, Pierce, and Snohomish, which are home to Seattle, Tacoma, and Everett. She also loses ground in Whatcom County, home to Bellingham, Whitman County, home to Pullman and Washington State University, and Central Washington. Now taking the gubernatorial results at face value, it would look like a Bob Ferguson victory by 14.12%. Republicans would be gaining all over the state outside of a few pockets. There are problems with taking these results at face value, and this is probably a much closer race. First is that Ferguson himself only got 44.9% of the vote in the primary. Bob Ferguson has been serving as Attorney General in a state where crime and public safety have become big issues. Ferguson also comes from the progressive wing of the party. Ferguson will be running against Dave Reichert, a moderate Republican who served in Congress from Washington's 8th Congressional District and as Sheriff of King County. During the time that Reichert served as sheriff, he helped catch the Green River Killer. Reichert is likely to appeal to many moderate voters that most Republicans couldn't. I see Ferguson winning by around 4%, with Reichert having a strong performance across the state. Reichert looks to win all of eastern Washington and most of the Washington coast. Blue counties that Reichert would win are Clark, Pierce, and Skagit counties. Ferguson would hold on in Clallam, Island, and Snohomish counties. For the presidential race, I forecast that Kamala Harris will win the state of Washington by around 13.71%. This is informed by the primary results and the polls. The polls show Cantwell outrunning Harris by 6% and Reichert outrunning Trump by 10%. The only county aflip will be Whitman County, forecasted to go for Trump by 4% after going for Biden by 10.45% in 2020. The caveat is that it could be more Democratic in the end, as Whitman County is home to Washington State University, meaning that many college students may not have voted in the primary. Only two counties had significant movement towards Harris. Whatcom County looks to be won by Trump by a 13.2% margin after going for him by 19.82% in 2020. At first glance, a 6.5% shift in Whatcom County looks impressive, but it's not a very populated county. That shift is only a couple hundred votes. That could easily turn out different come November 5th. Clallam County looks like it will be won by Harris by around 8.7% after going for Biden by 3.47%, a shift of around 5.2%. Clallam County has been a bellwether county. However, it appears that it may lose that status as it looks like it could be trending Democrat. But that could also be due to unique primary turnout dynamics. Clallam County is in the 6th District, which had 2 Democrats seriously fighting to get into the general, and Republicans only had 1 serious candidate. Also, the 6th District has a history of voting more Democratic in the primary than in the general. So while the primary results look good for Democrats here, they could be misleading. Looking at the margin shift map, these light blue counties have minimal shifts, all under 3%. They also tend to be in the 6th District. But it could just be that Trump has already hit a ceiling in this part of the state and that he had plenty of room to grow in the rest of the state. Across the state, there will be a consistent shift in most counties towards Trump. Of note, Yakima and Franklin counties had shifts over 20%. Why is this? Well, looking at this map, perhaps it's because Trump is making a lot of ground with Hispanic voters. Now we'll be looking at the counties that will be decided by less than 10%. The most populous county in eastern Washington is Spokane County, and it looks like Trump will win the county by 8.5%, a shift of 4% in favor of Trump from 2020, and a similar margin to 2016. On the west side, it looks like Grays Harbor County will be going for Trump by 5.3%, Mason County by 4%, and Pacific County by 0.4%. On the Democrat side, you have Park County, home to Vancouver and suburbs of Portland, which looks like it will go for Harris by 0.4%, a shift of almost 5%. Then you have Pierce County, home to Tacoma, which looks like it will go for Harris by 4.1%, a shift of a 7.5% from 2020. Finally, you have Skagit County, which looks like it will be stagnant as it will probably go for Harris by 6.7%, a shift of 1% in favor of Trump from 2020. Now, onto the key House races. The southwestern Washington-based 3rd District will not only be the most competitive race in Washington, but also among the most competitive in the country. The 3rd District will be holding a rematch of the 2022 race between Democrat Marie Gluesenkamp Perez and Republican Joe Kent. MGP pulled off a massive upset in 2022, winning by 0.83%. Joe Kent this time around has GOP leadership behind him and is running a bear campaign to flip back a district that should be favorable for Republicans. In the primary, MGP got 45.9% of the vote, and she probably needs 20% of Republicans to vote for her. In the primary, she probably needed to be around 48-49% to be in good position to win. In the end, I forecast that Joe Kent will win by 2 to 3%. Next is the central-based 4th District, which is the most Republican district in the state and will be safe Republican with 2 Republicans in the general. The incumbent is Dan Newhouse, one of the 2 remaining Republicans who voted to impeach Trump, facing a challenge from the right by Jared Sessler. In the primary, Sessler got around a third of the vote, while Newhouse got 23.4% of the vote. Sessler also won every county. The general election looks to be close, but Sessler should be favored over Newhouse, despite what some pundits on X have said. The 8th District, based around Seattle exurbs and the Cascade Mountains, was known as the most competitive district in Washington. However, Democrats had a strong performance in the primary, almost building a 10% lead. This either points to a district trending Democrat or what I believe to be more likely, Kim Schreier has become a strong incumbent. While Schreier could end up winning by a safe margin, out of caution, I will keep it as a likely Democrat race. If this forecast is true, not only could Republicans grow their delegation out of Washington, but it could become a lot more conservative as Kent and Sessler have pledged to join the Freedom Caucus. There is also a real chance Washington has a lot of turnover, with incumbents retiring in the 5th and 6th districts, and incumbents could possibly lose in the 3rd and 4th districts. Overall, this forecast is more consistent with a good election for Trump and Republicans. Washington is one of the bluer states, and results out of Eastern Washington especially, which is culturally similar to the Midwest, look encouraging for Trump. Along with that, Trump is making gains across the state that seem to indicate he is making gains across most demographic groups. Thanks for watching. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Comment down below and follow me on social media. Finally, please share the content. Over and out.